right, welcome back to Miami Realty Rundown. I know it's been a while. We've been kind of getting new topics to talk about. But we're ready to bring you back some new information. And of course, I'm Carlos.
And I'm Ideal.
So with us, we have Hubert Menendez, an attorney, a bulldog of an attorney.
I just got an email this past week calling me a bulldog.
Yeah. From Saltiel Law Group.
Saltiel Law Group, international member of a household. Thanks for inviting me, Carlos.
Pleasure to have you. So today we're talking about title fraud. It's a scam that many homeowners don't even realize it actually exists. So we have Hubert here to enlighten us.
Yeah, so it's actually a pretty prevalent issue, especially here in Miami-Dade County, which is dubbed the fraud capital of the United States. Definitely the fraud capital of South Florida. Hay mucho fraude. And you mentioned a commercial showing that somebody drives up to your house, they're in their car and they're doing it, but actually they don't even have to do that. Most of the time they don't even have to come look at the property. So South Florida consistently ranks within the top 10 for fraudulent recording of deeds, title fraud. 62% of cases involve vacant land. The most typical targets for title fraud are elderly people, which, as you know, we have a lot of those in South Florida. People that have just been recently deceased, properties in estates, and outside investors, which we have a lot of those here in South Florida as well.
Right.
It's become such a big issue that the legislature has passed several House bills addressing this. The state has implemented a new alert system, which we'll talk about that a little bit later. And the legislature even enacted a statute specifically targeting fraudulent and forged deeds. And so we'll talk a lot about that today. There's a couple of big cases that have happened here in Florida. I myself was involved in representing a client who had a fraudulent deed recorded against her property. The backstory of that one's pretty juicy. I can't give a lot of details, but we can talk about what's on the public record.
Juicy.
Gossip, love it. So can you walk us through how someone can actually take possession over your house without you even knowing it? Like, what goes on behind the scenes for someone like that?
Yeah, and that's actually a two-part question, right? Because you used a very legalese term without even realizing possession. So what is possession? Does possession mean that you actually hold the property, or hold the deed, or that you're residing on the property? Yes, no, right? Because there's legal possession and there's physical possession. The moment someone files a deed or records a deed against your property, and they are on title, they technically have legal possession. So if they do that to your house, you may be living in it and not have legal possession.
Wow. So how does one know that this has happened? Because I'm still living in my home, right? And someone else has a paper that has their name on it now. How can I find out?
So the way it was happening a couple of years ago, you didn't know.
Wow.
You didn't know. You would find out.
Yeah, because Miami-Dade County, when we do a closing, it doesn't really show up for like 3, 4, maybe 5 months later. So you don't even realize it.
Yeah.
And that's just, it shows up in the public record. Right?
It's just for it to show
Unless you go look for it, you have no idea. So it may show up in public record, but you have no way of knowing, right? The only way that you would find out if something's been recorded, and this is before, is you would have to constantly monitor the public records.
Which most people don't, because they're so busy caught up in their lives or kids and whatever they need to do. That's not something on the back of their mind.
Correct. So how would people find out, right? They would find out when they didn't get their tax bill, because everybody knows to expect tax bills, and when you don't get your property tax bill, you might start asking questions. That's if you're somebody who's diligent and always...
Somebody would be like, well, we don't got to pay taxes this year.
Yeah.
That's the other
Right.
The other way they would find out is maybe they go and they want to take out an equity line of credit on their house, or they want to sell their house, or they want to rent it, and lo and behold, that's when they find out that somebody has recorded a quitclaim deed, purportedly transferring the property from themselves to someone else.
Interesting.
Okay, so now that kind of brings a thought to mind. Okay, so let's say they record this new title, right? Which is usually a quitclaim deed.
Usually a quitclaim deed
Right.
for a very particular reason.
Correct, because a warranty would require more work and
You cannot have a warranty deed issued, right? Well, you can technically record it, but you're not going to have one properly issued without having title, without having a title insurance,
right.
right? And the minute you involve title insurance, they're going to ask questions. They're going to examine the chain of title. They're going to ask for driver's licenses. They're
Yes.
going to confirm identities.
Right. So then, if they go out and take out, I'm assuming they would go through. Well, let's not assume, because assuming gets you in trouble.
I love assumptions.
Right. Yeah, that's the bread and butter of your business. So let's say that they go out and get a mortgage through the traditional terms, right? Like they go to Bank of America, Wells Fargo, whatever. Doesn't typically before a loan is issued, title is reviewed again anyway.
Correct.
Right? So they would see a subordinate or a superior mortgage recorded on that property. So wouldn't that raise red flags at that point, at least for that lender?
But you are assuming they are using a traditional financial institution for this loan.
Correct.
Well, there's plenty of hard money private lenders that are not financial institutions that are probably not going to conduct the adequate due diligence to find this issue out. Yes, Bank of America is going to conduct their due diligence, and they're going to flag it, and they're not going to issue the loan. But here's how they actually do it, right?
Yep.
You can go and find a private hard money lender for construction loan. Okay, construction loan.
Construction.
Remember, 62% of cases are vacant land, right? So now the fraudster has a very curated a appearance of legitimacy.
Right.
I have a vacant land I want to build a property on.
Yes.
So they record the fraudulent deed. They go find a private lender that's targetable. It's not going to conduct proper due diligence. They take out a $300,000 plus construction loan for the single family home that they're going to build on there, and then they take the money and they leave.
Okay. Yeah. So that kind of because I was wondering, because I see these commercials, I'm like, yeah, but there's title involved. There's there's other mortgages that are
Someone
mortgage
should
wants
see
to be
it.
second
Yeah.
on wants to be a subordinate lender.
Right. So look, what these people do is they have no interest in actually owning the real estate.
No,
they're not going to
not.
develop it. They're not going to live there. What they want to do is just extract money from
Right.
it. So that scheme that I just talked about with the construction loan is one. Another scheme that they do is they'll lease out the property, collect a security deposit, a couple months, then disappear. Sometimes they'll even list it on Airbnb. Another fraudulent scheme here in Miami is everybody's doing Airbnb now.
Yes.
Or they will transfer. They'll actually sell the property. Now they've taken the title and they're gonna dupe the next schmuck that comes over and they sell the property to this especially outside investors are very can succumb to these types of fraudulent schemes.
Right.
They think they bought the property. Then when they go and sell it and title insurance comes in, that's when the issue arises. But by the time that you find out, the fraudster's long gone. And
Yeah, that's too
gets
late,
money.
man.
You got your money. So basically, the system assumes this paperwork is legitimate until something like that happens.
You're doing a really good job of teeing up. The system assumes. We got assumptions over here, we got assumptions over here. And that's part of the problem. We have a system based on assumptions, right? Because the county clerk that records these deeds, that's all they can literally do.
Assume.
They have to, right? So under Florida law, county recorders have to have a strictly ministerial role. They are not investigators. They don't do title, right? It's not like that they're title agents. They're not going to do investigation. So if they have a facially valid deed in front of them to be recorded, along with the recording fee, they have to assume that it's valid and they record it.
And they just go record it.
Yeah, they can't question.
Right.
They're not going to.
They're not going to.
Yeah.
And even if they had that obligation,
They wouldn't do it.
public employees are sorely underpaid.
Yes,
they're not
going
going
to do it. They just don't care.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. So it's fairly easy to do this. I mean, it sucks to say that, but you can get away with this.
Yes.
And
You
going
can.
back to that, what I read here, someone went ahead and had 35 homes across Miami-Dade.
Yes,
That's
that's actually
crazy.
one of the
One of the cases that you
So the individual, the fraudster's name was Robert Allen Tribble. It's dubbed the 35 Property Con. So we have a career fraudster. He had prior convictions for credit card fraud, forgery in Georgia. What he did is he forged quitclaim deeds on 35 homes across Miami-Dade County, Broward, Palm Beach, Martin counties. The properties had a combined taxable value of over $7.5 million. What he did is he collected rent and fake mortgage payments, ranging from $2,500 to $25,000 per property. So he was stealing money from renters in this case. Eventually he was caught and he's serving 5 consecutive life sentences.
so he's never getting out.
Well,
No.
well, let's hope not.
No.
You know, Florida.
Now he's counting with the commissary.
Florida continues to be like the top 5, or say top 3 in fraud, I guess. Because every time you hear a story, it's always Florida
It's
that's
Florida.
involved in some kind of fraud. Let's get out of that. Let's be number 1 in something else.
So we talked about. It's kind of embarrassing.
It's embarrassing.
We used to be
Just a
number
little.
1 in oranges, but not
So,
anymore.
like, my daughter likes to watch Customer Wars. I don't know if you guys have seen it.
Which one?
Customer Wars.
No.
Which it's like a cops, but it takes like videos of different situations where customers are always complaining or
And I've
getting
never heard
into
of it.
fights. Anyway, it's on. I forget what channel
It's
it
like
is.
about Karens.
Yeah, it's a bunch of Karens and Kents. But anyway, so it's like every other video is somewhere in Florida.
Oh,
Wow.
And my wife and I are like, "Huh, there's Florida again. There's Florida again. It's like, God damn it, people.
That just adds to our reputation.
I know.
I'm a little bit confused though. You guys are realtors, aren't you supposed to encourage
I know,
violence?
but still.
Are we doing the opposite of what we're supposed to be doing? We're
It's a great state in general,
It's a great
right? But you know,
Bye here. Yeah, but it's just funny. Florida, that's always coming up on something.
okay, so we talked about who is the biggest targets. You said LGD, vacant land, out-of-state investors.
Those are the biggest targets. That doesn't
Right,
by any way
right.
mean that everyone shouldn't be aware of
Aware.
it and vigilant.
Okay, and deceased. But that was another one that we.
Well, they can't see
touched on,
anything,
right?
they're dead.
Well, their family,
Yeah, they're,
right?
Their family, right?
The
Yeah,
heirs.
but in most cases, heirs either don't know or a lot of them don't want those properties. They just can't. They can't handle another property. So they really don't pay attention to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that'll lead us into another topic of fraudulent wills, which we're not going to get into
No.
today.
That'll be next week. Stay tuned.
Okay, so I guess the next thing we can talk about is what are the biggest red flags that something might, tell someone that
Yeah.
this is going on.
Biggest red flag is quick claim deeds for little to no consideration, notary seals that look blurred, suspect signatures. Unfortunately, there's not going to be anything that immediately jumps out at you to tell you, which is why the county clerks record these, right?
Yeah.
Nothing jumps out at them. It takes first of all finding out and then investigation to really parse out the fraudulent deed.
Got it.
So what are some ways that homeowners can protect themselves?
Well, before it was constantly monitoring the official recording books of Florida, which
Which are
I mean, that's a task.
backlogged anyway.
Right. It's a and it's a task.
It's a task.
It's not very easy to find stuff recorded against your property. You got to search by address. You got to search by folio. You got to look up the legal description, which the layperson, you guys are very versed in legal descriptions, but most lay people are not.
Right.
The legal description in and of itself is hard to parse the official records 10645 plat book 49 of the 49th block. I mean, it's not easy.
I know. There's even a lot of agents that even don't know what all that is.
Right. So that becomes an issue. Now, because it became such a prevalent issue, the legislature in Florida started taking action. The first thing they did is, effective July 1st, 2023, they passed House Bill 1419, which created a statewide property fraud alert system. It's required in all 66 counties by July 1st, 2024. They also launched the Lee pilot program requiring photo ID, but this is only in Lee County, when recording a deed. They strengthened criminal penalties and simplified prosecution of deed fraud. It was co-sponsored by now our current county clerk, Representative Fernandez Barquin. And so in Miami-Dade County, they implemented a recording alert system. So if a quitclaim deed is recorded against your property, within 24 hours, they will send you a correspondence alerting you, hey, just so you're aware, this quitclaim deed has been recorded against your property. That way you at least get notice, right?
Correspondence like snail mail?
Snail mail.
Okay.
I love that snail mail.
It is snail mail. Now,
So 5 days later you'll find out.
or more. Or more.
If
Right?
it doesn't get lost.
Now, Miami-Dade County went a bit further, a step forward. You can actually, and I recommend this to anyone who owns property in Miami-Dade County, is you can go into the system and to not get snail mail, you can put your email address.
Right.
And so you'll get an email alert within 24 hours that a quitclaim deed has been recorded against your property.
Okay. And it's only quitclaim deeds or any kind of title transfer?
I believe it's any type of title transfer.
Okay. All right. So okay, let me ask you this. So there are certain companies that will monitor or claim to monitor title. Do you think, in your opinion, do you think they're worth that, spending that money? Because I'm sure it's a monthly charge to keep track of your title.
Right. So most of the services that you're talking about do a little bit more than just that.
Right.
So if you're interested in the additional services that they offer, and I'm not sure how much they cost.
I don't know what they cost.
If you're interested in those additional services, it may be something worth considering. But every state has already set this up, and it's free. So for Miami-Dade County, if you go to miamidadeclerk.gov,
Yeah, we'll put that link below.
We'll put the link. But for Miami-Dade County, it's miamidadeclerk.gov /clerk/property-fraud.page. That's where you go and sign up so that you get the alerts. Broward has its own, and there is a master sign-up hub that covers all 67 counties in Florida, and I'll let you guys put that up
Yes.
on the page as well. So these are free. No, I don't think it's worth it if this is all you want to do, because these services are just providing an up service
Right.
that you can already get for
Because
free.
I think they also do like credit and monitoring or
exactly.
whatever. But
Exactly. So if you're interested in those services, yeah, but you already have. Florida has already provided you the services to at least get notification, right? That doesn't clear everything up, but at least now you're aware and you can
well,
contact.
first step is being aware.
It's
Right,
definitely
right.
a first step in the right direction, at least.
Right.
Because
You know.
I think the sooner you find out, the quicker you can resolve it.
Yeah.
And the less
avoid
damage.
Avoid
Right.
avoid the consequences of it, because again, with the fraudulent quitclaim deed, now all they have is legal possession. But what you want to be able to prevent is for them to encumber the property, right, with additional mortgages, loans, extract money from the property, because then, the lender is not going to automatically just discharge that debt. Now you got to fight with them to clear it out as fraudulent.
So let's say all that takes place, where they say someone has title fraud done against them. It's 6 months. There's 2 loans, 3 loans out against the property. What do they do?
Well, that's when they got to call me.
They hire you.
Yeah. Well, no. Let me. I'm skipping ahead because I'm getting to the part that I like, where they call me.
Right.
The first thing they should do is call call the police, right?
Okay.
Call Miami-Dade. If it's Miami-Dade, call Miami-Dade Economic Crimes Unit, and Broward vice versa. FBI also has a where you can file a complaint or give a tip as well. But that's step one, and again, we're talking about public employees. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to take action, right? Especially if they don't have enough facially to determine that a crime was committed.
Okay.
Then number two is contact an attorney.
Right.
If you're pro se, meaning that you are an individual and you're representing yourself, then you can do it yourself if you want to avoid the expenses of legal fees. What you would need to file is a quiet title action. That's under Florida statute 65091. That's to clear out a cloud of fraud on title. Florida has actually strike. Cut.
Strike that from the record.
Yeah.
Your Honor.
All right, coming back. Florida has also enacted a statute specifically for these types of frauds. It is Florida Statute 817-535, which is called unlawful filing false documents in the official records. And that statute basically allows the clerk to void that deed, and it also comes with some monetary penalties and fines.
Okay.
And you're entitled to your damages that this fraudulent deed has caused you to incur, right? Which includes attorney's fees.
Right. Have you found any cases where the people that got screwed were actually compensated, or they got their?
They were, but it's a long process.
Yes.
Right. Because you need to collect from the criminal.
Yes.
Essentially,
Right,
the
you can
criminal
find-
party.
right.
And they're good at hiding assets.
Yes,
So
of course
it's
they
a
are.
lengthy process. I was myself involved in defending. Let me start from the beginning. So we have this viejita come into the office saying that she and bringing us a lawsuit filed against her for unlawful detainer. Are you familiar with unlawful detainer actions?
No.
Okay. So unlawful detainer is like an eviction, right?
Okay.
It's like an eviction proceeding, but there is no lease agreement,
So like a squatter.
essentially.
Okay.
That's where you most commonly see unlawful detainer
Okay.
actions.
But
Basically,
this is her own home.
we'll get to that. Yeah, she gets served with a lawsuit, right, trying to evict her from her own home as an unlawful detainer, right? So no lease. The allegations were that she was permitted to live there for many years as a favor, yada yada yada. I asked her to start paying. She doesn't want to start paying, so kick her out. That's basically what it boils down to. Attached to it was a quitclaim deed from her and then her deceased husband transferring the property to the now individual that's trying to kick her out of her home.
Correct. Okay.
Okay. So she tells us, I never signed this. I don't know how. I don't know who this guy is.
Wow.
Right? So
And I'm
immediately,
assuming it's an elderly person.
it's an elderly
Yeah.
one. Yeah. Immediately we have to file a defense in the case, try and stall it out while we figure out what's going on, and building up the evidence to show that it was a fraudulent deed. Okay.
I have a lot of questions. Well, okay, just go.
Well, so we go into the discovery of the case and we start asking the guy questions. We start asking him for documents. His story's not adding up.
Right.
Okay. So what ended up happening is she had a grandson. Okay. La viejita had a grandson, and he came clean to us with what actually happened.
Oh.
Yeah. So grandson had some shady business dealings. Mainly, he was working with and for a drug dealer. Okay. He was transporting it. Grandson, in the process of transporting some marijuana, lost a barrel of marijuana. I don't know what a barrel of marijuana can be, but it sounds
like a lot
I've
of
never
money
heard of a
to
barrel
me.
of
It's
marijuana.
probably expensive, right?
Probably.
So, drug dealer Kingpin gets mad and tells him, "You got to pay me for this lost barrel, or there's going to be consequences." Grandson couldn't afford to pay for the lost barrel of marijuana, so
he sold his.
some
grandma's
point
house.
after, it's drug dealer that's filing this deed and comes after
the drug dealer.
he comes after grandma's house.
Holy shit!
Right. So once we learned that, we got the cops involved, or we had gotten them involved before. But again, unless it's facially obvious, they're not going to take action.
Right.
Right. So as we gathered evidence in our case, we started feeding it to Miami-Dade Economic Crimes Unit.
Right. Well, do they consider it a civil matter?
Typically,
Not really a criminal at this
no,
point.
but there was a criminal element. But
yes,
they're
but-
not going to take action unless they have enough evidence to warrant probable cause, which is a whole other standard that we're
Yes.
not going to get into today. But they're not going to take action until that threshold amount of evidence is available. Eventually, they did get involved, and they actually they took the fraudster, the Kingpin, took him under custody after his deposition that we took.
Oh,
And so with that, then we established under the statute that I mentioned earlier, unlawful filing false documents in official records, we established that it was false, and the clerk eventually expunged it from the official records. But there was a lot of damages.
A
I
lot.
mean, she incurred quite a bit of attorney's fees. You know, we did have an arrangement where we ended up helping her pro bono towards the end, but in the beginning there was a lot of fees involved.
it's an expensive crime.
And what an inconvenience for her. Like,
Yes.
Not having anything to do with what was going on in the back end. That's just,
I mean, inconvenience is putting it lightly.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? It's the home that you've lived in for decades, and you're at risk of being kicked out of your own home. I mean, that's got to be more than inconvenient. It was quite frankly terrifying.
no, and at that age,
Right.
it's on a different level, the amount of stress that you obtain from that. So, not to drag this on any longer, but I guess the first question that I had was, doing this, like, the fraudster, we'll call him that, you're doing this knowing that it's going to cause a red flag, right? So these people, he did it anyway, knowing he was going to get caught, basically, in a way, or like.
So I don't think he thought he was going to get caught. I mean, he had convinced his own attorney that it was valid, right? And so that became a quabble between us and his attorney at the time.
So he even had an attorney
Oh, he had an attorney, yeah.
to back him up on this.
Yeah. And his attorney's story the whole time was, "What are you talking about? This is valid. They had an arrangement." Sorry. What he said is he had given them $100,000 loan and took it out as collateralized by the property.
Was there
there a
proof
loan
of that?
recorded?
There was a loan recorded, but no funds were ever provided. That's where the story started breaking
That's
apart.
right. Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Because we
obviously
asked,
you
well,
record.
show us
Yeah.
Show us proof.
how you transferred the $100,000.
Correct.
Of course, he said cash.
Yes. Yeah, you record a piece of paper, but
Right.
there's no money trail.
Right. Exactly.
Interesting. Okay, well, that was one of my questions, but it's okay. We'll just not to drag it on any longer. I guess to wrap things up, like, if there's any one piece of advice you can give homeowners to avoid title fraud, like what would it be?
Sign up for the
Website you
sign up for the
provided.
recording
Okay.
system, and even then, look out for whether or not you're getting your tax bill on time. And beyond that, I would still myself at least quarterly check the official records to make sure there's not something recorded against your
Yeah,
property.
because tax bill's only in November.
Right.
And you
Anything
might
can
get something
happen.
in August with, proposed tax bill.
Right.
Yeah, and that's once a year.
that's
Imagine in
once a
between,
year.
like what
Yeah.
happens. Anything can happen, and all of that he mentioned
Yeah,
can be happening in the
it's
back end, and
happening.
it just causes
So
a
yeah,
burden
sign
on
up
you.
for the free service that Miami-Dade's providing. If you're in Miami-Dade, if there's other counties, then check your local county to see what they're providing, or check, at least if you can once a month or every 3 months, just put a calendar reminder to check your property records and make sure that you still own it.
And if you find something, contact the authorities immediately.
Yes.
And right after that, contact an attorney.
Yes. Hubert.
Yeah, me.
Guys, thank you.
See you next time.